The Prophet ﷺ's shyness always showed on his face. You're talking about the most masculine, strongest, integral man on the face of the earth, the messengers and the prophets of Allah, Muhammad ﷺ, the final prophet. He was described as such. They said, كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أشد حياء من العذراء في خدرها. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was more intense in his shyness than a virgin girl that is in her oasis. So who is going to be most shy, right? It's a girl who's never encountered another man. She'll be very shy, right? So they said, Ya Rasul, Prophet ﷺ was more than that. In what sense? فَإِذَا رَأَى شَيْئًا يَكْرَهُهُ عَرِفْنَاهُ فِي وَجْهِهِ. Whenever he saw or encountered someone or something around him that was immoral, someone did something that's immoral, someone swore, someone said something, someone did something, he heard about someone who had done something immoral or wrong, Rasul ﷺ would close his mouth and he could see on his cheeks redness. He would be embarrassed for that person, because that was called haya. This is not right. And you've seen sometimes you stand with sheikhs and scholars who fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and maybe you might say a joke that goes a little bit too far. And you'll see these scholars who are knowledgeable, right? They understand what haya means. Suddenly, they'll just look down and they won't embarrass you, but they'll look down a bit and you think, okay, this is a bit awkward. I shouldn't have said that. But they won't embarrass you, and then they'll change the topic. So this is a sign of haya. The characteristic of a person with haya. It's a good thing. But it doesn't mean you can't joke. So there's a balance in Islam. Please don't misunderstand me. The Prophet ﷺ joked with his companions and with elderly women. So one day a woman came to him and said, an elderly woman, over 80 years old, she said, Ya Rasulullah, do you know if I will enter paradise? And he said to her, لا تدخل الجنة عجوز. No old woman will enter paradise. He's joking with her. So she took it literally. Went back to her husband and he saw her a little bit sad. And when she told him what the Prophet ﷺ said, he laughed and said, go back and ask him what he meant. So when she went back, Prophet ﷺ laughed. The laughter of the Prophet ﷺ, by the way, was never qah. He never produced sound. The Prophet ﷺ either smiled, and when he smiled a lot, you could see his gums. That's the characteristic of his laughter. That means he laughed. So when his gums show. It doesn't mean you can't laugh, qah. But Rasul ﷺ's haya and modesty is unmatched. So he laughed like that, and he said to her, you will enter young. It means Jannah. If you're old, you will return to your youthful age first, and then you will enter paradise. So no old people will enter paradise. Rasul ﷺ, when he joked, it was always truthful. And there was always goodness and happiness that he brought to people. So that is not immodesty, this is actually modesty. To be able to joke in a way that benefits and brings happiness to people is the heart of modesty. To differentiate between what's moral and immoral. To joke morally, to speak morally, to dress morally, to interact morally, to do business morally, to talk morally, to go and come morally, as opposed to immoral. Keep going on with your life.